Welcome to episode 10 of season 6 of You Don't Know Jack with Lydia and Matt. How's it going, Matt?
Good, Lydia. You know, other than I'm like a popsicle around here.
Okay, it's
Subarctic here in on Podcast Hill and all of
Podcast
Western
Hill
Maryland.
is, everywhere is a frozen tundra.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started. People
Yeah.
are calling this snowcrete, which I
Yeah.
feel is an
Yes.
accurate description of it. I don't like it.
No,
It's supposed to be 30 degrees tomorrow.
Wow.
And
break out the flip flops.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, people are looking at me like I'm a crazy person. And I'm like, I'm going to be able to go out in a sweatshirt tomorrow.
Right. Well, 30 degrees and sunshine does get you melt. That does
which we
help.
haven't had. And
No,
I
there's been
think,
zero melt.
I mean, my roof is still covered in
Yes.
snow, and the backyard, forget it. I mean, if they're don't eat the yellow snow. It's
yeah,
like
and it's
poor Jack is
yeah.
having a hard time getting around because it is just.
My dog is moving with a purpose. But I did shovel him like a war zone. You know?
I did see this thing where this woman bought like a row cover greenhouse.
Yeah.
And she set it up before the snow, and then she unzipped the top and put her little dog in it.
Oh, nice.
And then it's like warm in
Yeah.
there, and it's all like non-issues. And I
Yeah.
thought about Benny.
Yeah.
But honestly, Jack is like outside staring. He's just sitting down and staring at the neighborhood, and it's a warm day.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, you've got to come in the house.
Yeah, it's too cold, man.
It's way too
I do
cold.
not have that issue with my dog.
No.
Now Benny is like hightailing it.
Benny has jets.
Yeah, he is. That's why he is Benny the Jet.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we have two teams going to the Super Bowl.
We do have two teams going to the Super Bowl.
That Broncos game was ridiculous. The snow,
Yes,
I think, really dictated the win for that game.
and it was not. It wasn't
It
that
wasn't
fun of a game
pretty.
to watch.
It wasn't a pretty
it wasn't.
game.
It was. And then of course, I mean, I think Sean Payton crapped the bed,
Mhm.
not kicking a field goal when you have a backup quarterback playing. Yeah, all the faith in Stiddy was clearly mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look, you're a Patriots fan. I respect that.
Yeah.
They had a very easy runway as easy a runway as you will see to the Super Bowl that I've seen before one team to have.
Would agree with that.
Because, by the way, Drake Mays played like trash.
Oh, he didn't great. No, it was terrible.
Yeah, he's played bad all postseason.
He has not been great. I'm hoping with this little break,
Yeah.
he might get it together. I'm as shocked as anybody that the Pats are in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, I did not expect this run. I was expecting them to have yet another kind of mediocre
Yeah.
year.
Well,
Better than the two previous years, but still not like where they are.
No,
but
I think
they're
they've
in the Super Bowl.
had a great run.
Yeah. I
think
don't trust it is what I'm saying.
No, I think Vrabel's done a great job. I don't think the Patriots are a great team. Like
No.
the teams that we've seen in the past.
No.
Yeah, but I mean, hey, you know what? All you can do in the playoffs, all you can do in the NFL in general is beat the teams in front of you because you have no control of your schedule. You don't do the scheduling. It's done by the league. So, hey, Patriots, credit to them. They've beat the teams in front of them, and that's what you're supposed to do. And
I just think that Seattle is just a beast of a team, and I just don't know. I mean, I think Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
I'm a Pats fan through and through. Love it if the Pats win. There has to be some serious, like, if the Pats defense shows up.
I
and
think
does a
both
good job.
defenses are very good. The question is, Sam Darnold's played really well in the playoffs, but Sam Darnold, in the regular season, he threw a lot of interceptions.
Yeah.
He didn't play good last year at the end of the season for the Vikings. But Darnold's played above his sort of weight class, so to speak. So, I mean, if the Patriots can put him in a position to struggle, then they can win that game.
Yeah.
But I think if Darnold plays like he's played in the playoffs, I don't think the Patriots can win. And I think the Patriots are going to find yardage and moving the ball very hard to do.
I agree
because
with
Seattle's defense is really, really good.
They're swarmy.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's Pete Carroll. That's his whole thing.
Well, now it's Mike McDonald.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying they're really.
Yeah, but
leaning on
they
that.
are. I mean, they were built on the defense when they were good the last time. McDonald, a Ravens, former Ravens defensive coordinator, has really got his team going in year number 2.
They have.
So I think the question is about Darnold. I think that's and I think the Patriots defense can slow Seattle down. I like a low-scoring game is sort of my instincts right now.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a slog. I don't think it's going to be a score for score.
Yeah, it's not going to be. I don't think it's 31-24. I think it's more like 2013 kind of. I'm saying in that range.
I agree with you. Yeah.
I think you get 20 points, you're in a really good spot in this game.
I do too. So it's.
But by the way, as we said before we went on, there's no way on God's earth that I could cheer for the Patriots
Oh my
when I
God.
saw that purveyor
All right,
of
let's
Asian massage parlors, Bob Kraft, at the season or the all-time or the world premiere of Melania. That's what we call it. We call it melatonin.
Melatonin, because
Yeah,
she
but
makes you want to go to sleep.
But yeah. But
Okay.
what was he doing?
I
mean, are you nuts, Kraft?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know how to. I'm not defending him.
All those trips to the Asian massage parlors finally going to his head.
Well, yes.
I mean, he's married to his granddaughter.
He's not married to his granddaughter. I just want to be very clear here. He married a younger woman who happens to be
like
a physician.
50 years younger.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Get your hands off your granddaughter. Put your dentures back in. Sit there. Maybe you'll learn something. A line from The Color of Money.
Oh, there you go.
Tom Cruise to Paul Newman.
To
Why do you care where I put my hands?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
My point is
The sequel to The Hustler.
Mm-hmm. I will be rooting for the Pats in the Super Bowl.
I understand that.
Just because, listen, but knowing full well they're going to get their asses handed to them most likely, which is fine. I mean, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Right. We're going to our friend Wendy's house for the Super Bowl. We do that every year, and the food's going to be good. The company's going to be good. The commercials should be hopefully great. Honestly, Bad Bunny. Looking forward to that.
I'm sure Donald Trump's looking forward to that. He's probably looking to have him like deported. He's not really an American.
He's a U.S. citizen.
It's Puerto Rican. Okay, Donald Trump doesn't really count that.
He's a U.S. citizen. He's a U.S. citizen.
He's gonna go throw some paper.
Maybe
he'll go throw some.
Who's not a U.S. citizen? Nicki Minaj.
Really? Well, she's out of here.
Yeah. Well,
right. Maybe Donald Trump can go throw some paper towels to the Puerto Ricans. That's what he did the last time when they had it. Yeah, that was. That's how he spreads the wealth.
Well, okay. So
but what in the hell was Bob Kraft thinking?
He wasn't. But Bob Kraft isn't also playing football, so let's just refocus to the football players. Hopefully, they do really well.
He's got to get in the Hall of Fame before Bill Belichick.
Yeah,
that's what's really important to Bob Kraft.
So Bob
Kraft, he's in the
Kraft-
Asian Massage Parlor Hall of Fame. We know that. Okay. I mean,
it's good. A plaque on the wall.
It says
best
most all-time number in terms of hand jiggers and brown eye scrubs. Bob Kraft, Robert Kraft.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Belichick did not make a first ballot Hall of Fame for a coach.
Well, allegedly, because it is not. The NFL has not announced the Hall of Fame class. It has been leaked out that Belichick, he needed 40 of 50 votes, and he did not get 40 of 50. So it is not. It is not officially that he has not made the Hall of Fame, but yes, it's like the worst kept. It's the worst kept secret in the NFL.
Right. So allegedly, he's not making it. I said when I first heard that report, I'm like, well, that's because Rob Kraft didn't want him.
They didn't want to share the
thing, and I knew that, and he probably made a few phone calls, and that was that, because that's how it works.
Right.
So yeah, it's unfortunate. The Kraft family wouldn't have Super Bowl wins without Belichick and Brady.
He's a failed owner without Belichick and Brady.
I agree.
Without both of them, he needs both of those pieces.
100%.
Now, I don't think Bill Belichick has 7 Super Bowls without Tom Brady.
No,
I don't know that he has any.
Mm-mm.
I know Tom Brady wins Super Bowls without Bill Belichick. I don't know how many. Maybe not 7, 1 or 2. Well, he did win 1. He may have had wherever team he was, maybe a couple. Okay, because that talent's just.
Right. I'm thinking if he didn't, excuse me, if he didn't have his entire career at the Pats, minus the 2 years at the Buccaneers,
right.
He won a Super Bowl. He proved
he could win.
do it.
Yeah,
yeah, and he almost did it twice.
Right.
But
I mean, I think Tom Brady has a handful of Super Bowl wins, be it 2, 3, 4 without.
Without Belichick, because of the talent. But I mean,
it starts with him.
Mm-hmm.
But then clearly, though, the sustained success of that franchise is about Bill Belichick and about the players and that he brought in with Tom Brady. But he also had Brady, who was willing to sacrifice everything to win, including comp.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have to get the last dollar because he made so much in other things.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, but.
I
Bob
think it's
Kraft does not need to be in the Hall of Fame before Bill Belichick.
No, I agree. I absolutely agree. And Bob Kraft wouldn't even be on the people's tongues without Belichick and Brady.
Why do we put owners in the Hall of Fame? I don't understand.
I'm not sure.
They're calling him contributor. I mean, all they do is write checks. Now look, Curly Lambeau is different. He coached and he owned the franchise. George Halas coached and owned the franchise. Okay, that's different. They're in there for their coaching.
Well, okay. So I think if you are a coach, you get in. I think you have to actually contribute to something on the field. I don't think that you should own the field.
By owning the field. Yeah, I mean, and some of these
you're
people
a real estate developer.
Okay, so and listen, Jerry built it though. Okay, his money is Jerry's money.
Yeah.
Okay, let's because I want to talk about him anyway. Old John Mara and Steve Tisch, a couple good guys that known as John Harbaugh would say the New York Football Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all John Mara did was inherit the team from Wellington Mara. Okay. And then they brought in the scumbag Tisch family. And I do say scumbag because read the Epstein report. Steve Tisch is all over it. He is a scumbag. He is a deplorable human.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm
not mincing any words here.
No. He is
a confirmed scumbag. Maybe not Bill Gates level scumbag.
God.
Okay, the worst scumbag.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so okay, John Mayer, if you own a team a long time, why would we put he's not up, but I'm just using him as by way of example. What the hell did he do to warrant, because you owned a team for 50 years that you inherited, you got it the old-fashioned way. Yeah. Money.
No, I think that, I don't think, but those guys, I think it should amend that, honestly. Yeah. I think if you're contributing to play on the field, you're a player, you're a coach, you should be obviously admitted into a Hall of Fame, meaning you're not famous just because you had a good team. Right. Like, he's not handpicking the players.
You're not famous for being wealthy.
No. You're already famous for being wealthy. You don't need any more.
And listen, and I know some of the other owners they've put in the past. You've put in Lamar Hunt because he was integral in merging the AFC and the NFC. I'm not sure that really warrants it, but fine. But so by the way, who they voted against multiple times because he moved to franchise was Art Modell.
Yeah.
Art Modell created Monday Night Football. That is why you would put Art Modell in the Hall of Fame for creating Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Okay, you either do or don't, but fine. But any of them, why are they in?
I think they should have their own Hall of Fame, and they can have their own party, and we don't have to worry about
they
it.
do have their own Hall of Fame. It's called NFL ownership.
Yeah.
That is your... Yeah.
That's your legacy.
Right.
Get off your high horse. You don't need an accolade.
Yeah, but by the way, when I'm thinking of the Mount Rushmore of the NFL, I don't think of a guy that was just an owner anywhere involved. Okay, you might say George Papa Bear Hallis or Curly Lambeau, but it's about. Lambeau played, for God's sakes. He played, coached, and owned the team.
Yeah.
You might say Curly Lambeau or George Papa Bear Hallis because of what they did on the field.
That's what I mean. They have actual merit.
Yeah. Paul Brown, coached the Browns for so long, right? And then he obviously formed the Bengals and coached them too, and was an owner. Okay, but that's different.
That is different.
Yeah, like I said, I just don't think when I'm thinking,
you just leave it to players and coaches.
Yeah, when I'm thinking of the all-time Hall of Fame, Mount Rushmore in the NFL, sorry, I don't think of Mr. Massage Parlor. Yeah, I wonder if they called him like Mr. Miyagi when he went in there, just so.
Wax on, wax on.
I wonder if that's what he put down, like, as his name. If he had to sign in, it was like Mr. Miyagi.
I'm pretty sure he probably went in there and put Robert Kraft.
Yeah.
Of Kraft.
Yeah.
Industries.
But he's just, so.
I know. So so let's go back.
All right.
Super Bowl.
Lot to unpack there. Sorry for the rant. But
That's okay.
I had to get some of this off my chest.
You had to get it off your chest. I understand. It's Sunday. By the way, we survived January. Congratulations.
Yes.
Today is the 1st of February.
Yes.
So Super Bowl 60 is in San Francisco.
Yes.
It will be.
No, it's actually not. It's in Santa Clara.
Sorry, Santa Clara.
An hour from San Francisco, which is very strange. But
February 8th at 6:30 p.m.
Yep. As you said, Bad Bunny is going to be
Bad Bunny is the halftime show. I don't know who's doing the national anthem.
I don't know. We'll be here. We'll be back next week with our prop bets.
Yeah,
we'll look at the prop bets and we'll give you the good prop bets.
Yeah, we'll do all that.
I don't know who's singing the national anthem either. I don't.
I'll have all that.
Hopefully not Morgan Wallen. Okay. Oh my God. Sorry, we had a pre-meeting about that with Lydia and her husband Tim and I about Morgan Wallen. Yeah. Bad hombre.
I don't even know.
I couldn't pick out a song he sings, but I don't like him.
I couldn't pick him out of a crowd.
Yeah,
so there you go.
And I wouldn't pick him out of a crowd.
So we've had. We think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Both of us. Seahawks? Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, and then so we also want to.
But I do see a window, an opportunity for the Patriots. This is not like
they might step through.
This is not them playing the 85 Bears where you're like, there is no way you win this game. Right. No. I think they're absolutely. I think if you put Sam Darnold and Sam Darnold does not perform, the Patriots defense is good enough to win this. But Drake May's got to play. He's got to play. He's got to be regular season.
He's got to be Drake May.
He's got to be regular season Drake May. Yeah. He can't be playoff Drake.
Correct.
Yeah.
So there's been some recent head coach moves. So Jeff Halfey went from the Packers to Miami.
Yeah, he's
as the head coach.
It was the Packers defensive coordinator, I think. Yep. Yeah. Very good defense in Green Bay.
Mike McCarthy was hired as the Steelers head coach.
We touched on that last week briefly. I don't think that's they didn't knock it out of the park.
No, I don't think so. Todd Monken is the new head coach of Cleveland.
Yeah, God bless him. What a tough job.
Uh-huh.
I mean, by the way, and that's also created a big rift because Jim Schwartz got passed over again.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Schwartz is the defensive coordinator at in Cleveland. He's a very good defensive coordinator, but had coached the Lions and was not a great head coach.
Yeah.
Could be a prickly kind of human, but he's still under contract with the Browns, so we're not sure how that's going to work out with Jim Schwartz.
Okay. Joe Brady is now the head coach at Buffalo. It was an internal promotion, and he was offensive guy.
I think that is the singular highest pressure job because he has to win now.
Yeah.
Because you fired McDermott, who's the winningest coach in the NFL over the last 6 or 7 years.
Yep. I don't know if that was a good move or
for
not.
a playoff performance. Yeah, and I don't know that.
That wasn't him; it was his players.
Yeah, well, and there were the questions, some decisions and stuff like that, but it wasn't him that turned it over 6 times. It was Josh Allen. But when Lamar turns it over twice, he's not really a quarterback.
Boo-hoo Allen.
When Josh turns it over, it's the coaching, it's teammates letting down enough weapons.
Yeah, and then you cry
we covered
about
that
it.
last week too.
You cry about it. I don't.
I just think there's just a word for that. It's just called racism because Lamar has the audacity to be a black.
We called
man.
it out last week. I think we said
still simmering on it.
I think so.
Again, this is a vetting session.
I know.
Venting.
It is. I think it's venting and vetting.
Yeah.
We all Jesse Mentors at the Ravens now,
and by the way, Ravens just hired a 29-year-old to be the offensive coordinator from Chicago. I keep blanking on his name, but he was the pass game coordinator, and he may have even had offensive coordinator title at Chicago, but he did not call the plays because Ben Johnson called the plays. So the Ravens, I think the Ravens did, and I don't know how it's going to work. I guess we're going to see the opposite of what the Steelers did. The Steelers played it very safe. I think the Ravens took some big swings.
They need to.
Yeah.
And then Atlanta has Kevin Stefanski.
I think it's a great hire.
I think so too,
I think Stefanski, to go to the playoffs twice in 6 years with the Browns, with their quarterback situation.
And the Falcons had a good team this year.
Yeah, he did not ask for Deshaun Watson. There's a lot of talent in Atlanta. I mean, Bijan Robinson is a beast. Drake London is a beast.
Yeah.
They got 2 pass rushers in the first round last year. Defense is coming on. They definitely have a quarterback situation.
They do.
It's what do they do with Michael Penix versus Kirk family cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's but I think Kevin Stefanski's a very good coach. I mean, twice been coach of the year in the NFL. Again, when you take the Browns to the playoffs once every 3 years.
That's good.
Yeah, you're working some magic. Yeah.
All right, so I want to talk about the transfer portal angle for the college football. So NCAA has now fully embraced the unlimited transfers. As of 2026, academically eligible athletes can transfer multiple times without sitting out as long as they jump during the official window. D1 football has moved to single winter windows, scrapping the old 2-window setup. So there's no separating between, now and spring, which compresses movement and accelerates roster churn. So the 26 cycle, more than 3,200 scholarship players entered the portal, and the national teams like Miami and Indiana getting a special 5-day post-championship window showing how title runs and portal timing now intersect. So we're functionally in a NFL-style free agency situation for 18 to 22-year-olds on a 15-day shot clock.
Well, I think, but when they do it, the timing of it needs to move to be well after the playoffs are over. I don't like when they're doing it. Now, the playoff teams, those players have a longer window to when they have to sign up.
Yeah.
But, I mean, here's the deal. Sound like Joe Biden. Here's the deal, folks. Here's the deal. You're trying to coach Indiana if you're Signetti, and you're also trying to recruit players from the portal where you're trying to get ready. I understand the recruiting. I think they need to look at their calendar. I think you should get one move for free. The only exception would be is you can move one more time if your head coach quits or is fired.
This is my thought on it.
Yeah.
My thought is, listen up, folks. It's deep here. If you take money, you have to stay.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're talking about. Suing people. It's like, hey, you got a contract,
That's
man.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you have a contract and you take money and you sign that, great. If you don't, and you're truly a college athlete and you don't take any money, then feel free to move. I also believe that you should be limited in how many times you can move. And I think if you're right, if you want to follow your coach, but if you're staying with your coach and you're not moving around, great. Then your coach moves, then that's your one transfer portal. So that's your one transfer, right? Mm-hmm. The people getting, like Duke broke, the quarterback at Duke broke his contract because he wanted to go to Miami. And you're just like, okay, schools have to be in more control over this. Otherwise, you're going to have, it's not going to be a playing field advantage. Is going to be totally, it's not a fair playing field. I just think whoever has the most money is going to win because you can get the best talent, and that's been proven.
Right. Well, and Indiana has done it because you have Mark Cuban's money.
That's what I'm saying. And Michigan also. But
Michigan's got, But
I just think you have to limit this. It cannot be an unlimited amount of transfers. That's absolutely crazy.
Well, or we have to move this away from colleges.
Yeah.
Because listen,
and
I have a college student right now.
Yeah.
Okay, you're supposed to be and I'm not saying these kids, these guys, these young men, women aren't smart, but like, come on, man, how are you supposed to get a degree? And by the way,
you're not.
If you ain't in the NFL, if you're not a big time player in college football,
you're not making money.
A big time player in college basketball, or a big time player in in women's basketball, you are not going to be a professional anything that's going to make you any real money.
Correct.
Okay? So they need to get an education. And so if they're flopping schools, like, hey, you might be an excellent, I'm not talking about like the all-time elite, but a very good women's soccer player. You might be the very best men's lacrosse player in America.
Yeah.
And if you start flopping schools one after the other, you don't end up with a degree. You're not getting that much money, and then where are you when this is done?
Well, I would like to also say that it's just you're academically eligible.
Right.
So you have a lot of guys coming back in that are in their mid to late 20s because they're academically eligible.
Well, and they also have guys that want to come back from playing in the NBA. They've played like 15 games. They've been drafted.
Yep. And I just think you've got to really put some guardrails on this. This is like the Wild West. And I think this is the first step of it being like, we're going to let it go one more year. And then I think they're going to have to pull it back. And I think the fact that colleges can then sue these athletes that have probably signed a contract that says they aren't going to enter the portal and they do it anyway. And there's no like, they're getting the other college they go to settles or whatever. This is not, we're not doing this. It needs to be better.
No, I think
this is going to be an interesting thing to keep an eye on.
I don't want the players, the student athletes to be exploited, but this is
too much. Yeah. We've gone way too far. We got to bring it back, and it's got to be more regulated. Pitchers and catchers, 10 days.
So the big wild card continues to be Framber Valdez.
Oh yeah.
Where does Framber Valdez end up?
Where do you want him to end up?
He'd look great in orange and black. He's used to wearing orange. He's coming from Houston. He's used to the color. Looks good on him.
Looks good on him. Yeah.
Yeah. But Framber Valdez is still out there. 10 days from pitching report. Pitchers and catchers reporting. Yeah. So
I might get to see him.
Yeah. Nice. At this late stage, you might not see him. You might see him. I listen. I told you before we went on. I don't have all the odds. Orioles 84.5 is the over/under. I mean, that's like over 12. That's easy money. Like, listen, as I said to Lydia before we went on, we'll probably be at 84 wins by the All-Star break.
I would hope.
Yeah, I mean, because we only, that'll be like 92 games. We'll take the All-Star break in 92. We'll probably be about 84-8.
You're always bullish on your ass.
Look, I think the lineup's really good.
I think you've got a good solid lineup.
I think the lineup's really good. I think the pitching's good. I think Framber Valdez.
If everybody stays healthy, you should be fine.
I think if you add Valdez, you could really, my buddy Nate Price and I were talking, huge Orioles guy too. The bullpen, I'm a little more worried about.
Fan of the show.
I'm a big fan of the show. We'd like to add, but if you added Framber Valdez, you can move Wells into the bullpen.
Yeah.
And I think it just really sets up the pitching staff in a very good way. And I'm still trying to figure out what the hell Ryan Mountcastle is still on our team for. But, I mean, I'm willing to trade him for like a case of baseballs and like a gallon of Gatorade.
There you go. I think it's a good trade.
Stone cold loser.
So the full squad workouts begin for the O's February 15th. So there we go.
And March 26th, we're under 2 months to first opening day.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm so
the
excited.
boys of summer are on their way, even though we're in Snowmageddon.
I did see a really great, the snow crate. I did see a really good graphic about the Super Bowl. It was like the people that care about the Super Bowl, and it was like a dot in Seattle, a dot in Massachusetts, or Boston, and then everything else was light blue, and it was like waiting for baseball season.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, and again, I respect that you're a fan for the Patriots. There's a lot of apathy about the Super Bowl. Like, it just doesn't really move the needle for.
Well, it wasn't like there's not a rabid fan base, really. I mean, they're
in
New
England and in Seattle, they're very
localized fan bases.
But they're not like, and especially Seattle is the opposite of a national team, right? They're a very regional.
Very regional. And I would say New England is also very regional.
Right, but you do have a lot of
we
front runners, a lot of bandwagoners from the Brady era. Still.
Correct. I was going to say we have national exposure, but I'm going to tell you, it's very, like, if you're in New England.
It's mainly a bunch of massholes.
Yeah, absolutely.
The bulk of their fan are massholes.
Massholes all the way into Maine.
It does run into
New England is it's all of it. You know, I will say this, and I think I've said this before on the podcast. My dad is from Portsmouth, New Hampshire, born and raised, and so,
shout out Portsmouth.
Yeah, and
we're very popular in Portsmouth.
My dad played at one of the Patriot halftime shows in Fenway.
Awesome.
When they used to play in Fenway. He jazz trombone player, and so they played one of the halftime shows.
Amazing that would be a halftime show.
It was a halftime show.
I'm not knocking your dad, but I'm saying, like, imagine where we are now.
I mean, it wasn't like a Super Bowl halftime show.
Right, no, but even still, like the performances that we put on like halftime shows now.
Apparently, it was on television. It was broadcast on television. It was a big deal.
Oh, absolutely.
But I just, my thing is, my family has a little bit of Patriot,
Shout out Stevens.
Yeah, exactly. My Papa.
Yeah.
Papa trombone. But anyway, so he, but yeah, so it's like we've always had a nice little New England run.
I'm here for you being I understand.
And also, like, being the most hated person, I have to say, I really, really was a brave or maybe stupid person in New York City with a old school hat, toboggan hat.
By the way, it's not new. They've had it for like 30 years. It's the uniform's such garbage. Go back to the red and white,
really
the old pat. I mean, it's a great uniform.
It's
the
such
all
a good
white
one.
On the road, the red jerseys at home, the old
so
Patriot
good.
like taking the snap.
Exactly.
I mean, it is a great uniform.
So I have the snap hat.
Yeah, it's a great uniform.
Which is a great hat to wear in the streets of New York with a pomp, because then you can you can see me. And I got this barista that was like, and Tim was wearing his Eagles hat, so we were repping.
Also pissing off New York with the Eagles on too.
And so these guys are like,
where
the hell are you two from? Like, you guys together? And we're like, yeah. And they're like, how's the Super Bowl going? Because that was when the Super Bowl was going to happen. And I said, we're on our best behavior. And we did. We went to my best friend's house in South Carolina. We had lobster rolls and cheesesteaks. And I took a lot of walks. Let's just say I had to take a lot of walks around the neighborhood because there's two small little ears in that house.
Yeah.
So you guys get that. She said, you have to get out of this house.
That was the Big D Nick year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was
Philly special.
Okay, so we're going to talk about some other ridiculousness that we've survived. We survived in January, which is the arrest of journalists by the federal government.
The jury's still on whether we've actually survived this. I don't think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the democracy. Survived January. Whether we survived this.
I said so. We've survived yet another thing in January. Basically, the federal agents arrested former CNN anchor Don Lemon and Minnesota independent journalist George Fort over reporting on protests and federal activity around a Minnesota church.
Right. And the church was either
operations.
The church was like supportive to ICE, or
they had one of the ministers was like head of ICE in Minnesota or something like that. And so they, just being part of the media, weren't involved in organizing or anything else. All they were doing was witnessing what was happening and reporting on that.
Well, it was, again, this is the venting, pulling no punches session. As I said, Don Lemon committed 2 sins in the Trump administration with the people in charge. He happens to be black and gay. Those are like, that's probably that's like probable cause to arrest him, right?
Yeah.
I think in this
administration,
in this environment in Minnesota, that's a criminal act. That's like, I mean, right there, that's like probably like 5 years in the Hooskow.
So here's because you're the lawyer here. Last I checked, they were picked up on federal felony charges tied to alleged interference with law enforcement operations during a protest coverage and move legal groups call extraordinary and chilling for press freedom. This is not going to go,
This is going
right?
nowhere.
Exactly.
This is, again.
Yeah.
It's
just to tie you up and distract you.
The two most dangerous places or people to be are between a news camera, Kristi Noem and a news camera, or to be Kristi Noem's dog. Okay, it's very dangerous positions to be in.
I agree.
And this is headline chasing by a someone who does hold the title of the most powerful man in the world, but is so fragile and his ego is so easily triggered. It's got to be, they think this is like...
He's suing the IRS for $10 billion.
Yeah. I mean,
and he's going to settle with himself.
This is owning the libs, I mean, this is in their mind. This is, again, I mean, just go shoot more dogs and do whatever you.
Well, basically, it's
get more whole milk. Hey, by the way, South Carolina going great. The measles outbreak. A lot of people would call that natural selection.
They would. Yeah.
I mean,
but unfortunately,
so just for the record, okay, we have eradicated plagues of the 20th century and 19th century. I mean, we eradicated polio, smallpox, measles, mumps, rubella. Chicken pox. I mean, viruses. But I mean, understand, polio was like a plague of the 20th century, 19th, 20th. I mean, it was. I mean, ask Franklin Roosevelt's family. Also known as infantile paralysis. But yes, it was. I mean, and now we're just going to ignore. Again, are these folks that aren't getting vaccinated? Are they also going back to VCRs, typewriters,
so
and
here's
rotary
the thing.
telephones?
I want to be very clear here. The people that are. It's the people that are advocating for no vaccines have been vaccinated because their parents vaccinated them. They are now causing harm to their children by not vaccinating their children, and their children are not, they can't advocate for themselves. I had a friend of mine who had a daughter who, it was, a child of one relationship. The mother got remarried to somebody that was very much anti-vaccine. This kid needed her booster shots, her MMR booster shots. And her mom's like, well, I don't believe in that or whatever. And she goes, okay. And then she went to her dad's, said, I want my booster shots. Her dad took her, got her booster shots, and the mom was none the wiser. But the problem is this kid, because the kid was old enough, could say, hey, can one of my parents be a parent and take me to get this shot? And but my point is like babies and young children don't know that, and that's why you're a parent and you're supposed to be protecting them. At some point, if you want to live in your own measles colony, fine, but it's not about you. It's about the protection of people who can't get vaccinated too.
But no, it's
and vaccines are safe.
But yeah, we're gonna we're arresting journalists. We're our anti-vax leadership, the Health and Human Services, is a dumpster fire. But we are going to build a 250-foot arch, in D.C.
Arc de Triomphe?
Yeah, Arc de Trump.
But
we do understand, I hope, to own the conservatives. They understand the precedent is now set, okay? If I'm elected president, Matt Gilmore's elected as progressive, I can bulldoze to the ground that stupid ballroom.
It's not going to happen.
I know, but I'm saying the Ark, I don't need permission because Trump said that, right? I mean, I don't need permission to tear down.
Yes.
I
agree with you. The precedent has been set.
I mean, hopefully when Gavin Newsom or somebody, to paraphrase Ronald Reagan, Mr. Newsom, tear down this ballroom.
Well, here's the thing. I think what I would advocate really strongly to help with the divisiveness of our for where we are now. And I think it all started with Reagan, the Republicans, golden child.
Not anymore.
No, but what I'm saying is
he's soft on immigration. Okay. Very weak.
Yeah. But he also removed the fact-based reporting and opened up this entertainment style news that we have now. That needs to go back into effect. I'm sorry. You have to have fact-based news.
I think the genie's out of the bottle on that. I know. I don't disagree with you.
Make it a regulation that you can't report on things of a hypothetical nature. Go back to Cronkite, honestly.
But listen,
you read the news, be like BBC, be like PBS NewsHour. Here's the news.
PBS
done.
Woke. Okay, not true.
Okay, fine.
Nasty.
BBC.
Also woke.
Yeah, whatever. At least it's
the only true news we know is Fox. Okay, let's get it straight, Lydia.
Entertainment.
Fox, entertainment like real news. Okay.
My problem is I think you have to go back to that because what happened is not working.
No, I agree with you. I just don't see it happening.
And that's okay. And you can have CNN and you can have Fox News and you can have all these alternative news sources, but they need to say that this is not true, factual.
Well, Fox has said that. Fox has said that in their Dominion lawsuits.
I know
that they're not news.
They're not news. Yeah. And so my thing is legally they're not news, so they shouldn't be affected by this. But CBS, NBC, ABC, all these, they need to just be reporting on the news. Also, these pundits really.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to get real news, you go to OAN. I mean, we know that. Yeah.
If you want to go to get real news, go to AP.
I read the Washington Post. I know that's
that's controversial.
Yeah.
I also like to look at Le Monde, which is a French newspaper, because it's good to have outside perspective on how the world is viewing us.
I always go to Der Spiegel, right? Isn't that the Isn't that the Berlin newspaper?
That's the Berlin newspaper. But you can get, what I'm saying is you have access to outside news sources, and it's really important that you read all the things.
I think it's just important you tune into OAN and you get, I mean, they just drop nothing but truth bombs. Solid.
Yeah. So
sarcasm there.
Sarcasm, deep sarcasm. So if you're sitting here and you're going, oh my God, there's all these things, and we're getting Epstein file drops, we're getting on a Friday, we're getting, arrests of journalists.
Classic DC politics is
you drop it on Friday because nobody's going to pay attention.
You take out the trash on Friday nights.
Well, let me tell you something.
They do pay attention.
That was prior to social media and people having time to go through 3 million documents of the Epstein files and put out there what's happening. It is grotesque.
So, okay, let me ask you, I'll give you the top 3 scumbags. Pick the worst. Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, Steve Tisch. Go.
I think they're tied for 1 there.
I think Bill Gates might be at the top. I mean, trying to figure out how to give your then wife
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's all terrible because you know that there was underage stuff happening.
I'm not saying, but I mean, I'm saying, look, all monsters, okay?
They're all terrible.
But we know not, okay, but look. I
think it's a tie for
not all monsters are created equally, right? Okay, like, we have, like, they always say, like, baseball. There's, like, even different rooms of Hall of Fames in baseball, right?
Yeah,
like the true immortals, right? I mean, Babe Ruth's, like, the immortal, right? Or, you pick him, I mean, he's always going to be, Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb and certain guys that are just like
Jackie
Robinson. These guys are like, though.
Happy Black History Month.
Yeah, exactly. Just getting started. We're going to probably get rid of that, but
not on this podcast.
Not on this podcast. But, so I'm saying just like an all-time like terrible people, monsters Hall of Fame, there's different rooms. And I'm saying even if I'm going to classify the Epstein monsters in different rooms, I mean, I'm just saying Bill Gates, man. It's trying to figure out how to surreptitiously give your wife essentially penicillin because you got like an STD from a Russian lady.
I would like to
But how about Steve Tisch, like in his email asking, like, is the woman a pro or a civilian? Like, because he wants to know, I guess, if he's going to have to pay for the pleasure of this company or not.
This is insane.
I mean, these guys are like,
yeah. It's really, really bad, and there's some very, very disturbing things in these Epstein files. I think you can't ignore it. You need to know. You need to know what the caliber of people are, and if you're talking to somebody about it, and they say, well, yeah, but there's Democrats in there. I don't care. It's not about party line. It's about being a total.
But. So think about this. Why was there the first dump and it had Bill Clinton in there? Because he was friends with Epstein. He admits that. But there's no emails from Bill Clinton about lining up women or anything like that. No pictures with Bill Clinton and young girls. Why is that in the first batch, but we held on to the Tisch stuff and the, I mean, think about it.
And they still haven't released all of them, by the way.
No.
And they said this is all we're doing. So now they're going to be hopefully held in contempt, and then they'll have to do it. So if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my God, this is just like we're devolving and we have no control. That's not necessarily true. There was on the 30th of January a national economic blackout, a walkout, and fight ICE funding, which was very effective. A lot of people wrote physical letters to their Congress people because you're actually physically flooding them. You can't just like delete a bunch of emails and move on with your life. You're actually physically flooding them with stuff. That was effective. There was major protests all over the country on the 30th. If you were not supposed to buy anything of a corporate nature, they suggested supporting local businesses for sure.
I don't think I bought anything, so good for me.
Yeah, but I mean,
but I missed this, by the way. I was, as I said to Lydia, I had a really long week, like work, like this is not my day job.
Yeah.
No, I was just like swamped. I was like, I totally found out about it. It's awesome. I'm all here for it. And I'm like also glad I didn't buy anything. Like, I didn't go in.
Well,
like literally I went home after work. I think I microwaved like 2 Morningstar Farms chick patties like I had there. Like I didn't stop anywhere, didn't buy anything. It was like, no, I unintentionally did not, I unintentionally participated
in an economic blackout.
But I'm not taking credit for doing it because I literally
missed it. There's a guy, his name is Scott Galloway, who has a podcast called Pivot with Kara Swisher. It's a very good podcast. I highly recommend people listen to it. But he is doing this thing where it's called unsubscribe. And so there's a lot of different services that people use unknowingly that support companies that support ICE.
I have friends that have moved almost completely away from Amazon.
Yes.
Because Amazon is the big hitter there.
Right. And a lot of it is Yeah, so Amazon is a big hitter there. Apple also, because you're putting pressure on tech companies, because tech companies are like aligning with this. And a lot of...
I don't understand how Tim Apple, that's what we call him, Tim Apple, Tim
know.
Cook. I don't understand how he can be in the same room as Amazon.
I don't understand either. But here's the point, is if you stop buying, you stop doing streaming and stuff. I looked at the list, and I'll put a link into our show notes so people can take a look at it. But it's sort of like phone carriers, like AT&T really helps ICE. Lowe's and Home Depot will scan your license plate and then send that information to the federal government. So there's all these like different things that are happening. Take a look at the list. Tim and I looked at the list and we're like, okay, there's some things that we can unsubscribe from, and that's totally fine. But the majority of them are like, we're not consumers in that way.
Yeah.
So I have issues with, and also, I want to be very clear here. Do what you can when you can. Yeah. This is not an all or nothing situation. And don't judge people if they decide they need to use
if you can, like a lot of people I know have made the switch. Now, it takes more effort because you got to go there, especially from where we live. But like they'll go to Costco and buy stuff instead of like Amazon, right? Because Costco is very pro worker.
Well, we're also I just want to be clear. It's not an excuse, but we are an hour and 45 to 2 hours away from a Costco. Yeah. Now, if a Costco decided to move to Cumberland, you would get a pull from the region. Yeah. And I think that would be a really big get, Nathan Price, you listening? Yeah. And then, but my thing, and that could go into the LaVale Plaza, just saying. I think that would be a nice situation for this area in general, because we don't have access. And so what that does is opens up to Amazon and other, leeches. Yeah. That have this completely vertical integrated system that people get into, and they by default go, look, I'll just get on Amazon. My card's there. It's easy. It comes to my house. I don't have to worry about it. I get it in 2 days. And we've gotten away from like
Amazon makes it easy. That's their shtick.
So my thing is, if it makes it more difficult, if you unsubscribe, then it's a hit to their GDP. And that's when they respond. They don't respond to protests. They respond to GDP.
Did you see the protest in Minnesota at Target where people were buying bags of salt?
Yep.
And then returning it. They just kept buying it, returning it, buying it, like flooding the Walmart, flooding the Targets.
The best way to shut down a corporation is not to not buy from them, but is to waste their time.
Right. And that's what they were just a line of people. They would literally buy it and, salt, ice. That's how you get rid of ice.
Absolutely.
But they were literally there was like 50, a couple hundred people. They would buy a bag of salt. They'd get in line to return it. Yeah. And just kept doing it over and over at Target.
Yeah, because you're wasting people's time. And that's exactly what they're telling us to do. So in Congress, there was a standalone Department of Homeland Security appropriations.
There is a government shutdown right now.
There is currently a government shutdown,
because but it will be because
Johnson doesn't have the votes.
Our distinguished speaker from Pig's Knuckle, Louisiana.
Yep.
Can't get his crap together. And the Democrats aren't going to make it easy for him.
No, they're not. And they shouldn't. And honestly, that's the hill we can stand on. And that was because they were like, please do not cut any backroom deals with this bill. We do not want this to be funded.
So, but what they've agreed to is to fund all the agencies, everything
at
except
the current level.
At current level, except ICE. And then ICE is only at the current level funded for the next for 2 weeks.
Yep. So
the government shutdown theoretically began at midnight it was 12:01 on Saturday. Yep. It will be voted on. Johnson will get the votes for the 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And the Democrats might vote for him in the 2 weeks. Maybe he'll get some votes.
Maybe.
But he's got to make but they've got 2 weeks to do the deal on ICE.
So,
but by the way, Trump and them back down. Right?
Of course.
They could have, because Democrats were going to shut it down again. Yeah. They were willing to shut it down.
Yeah, he came back to the table very quickly.
Yes.
Tail between side legs. So I just want to continue with we're going to talk about down ballot races now. So Texas flipped a super red seat.
Yeah, the ninth Senate district. Yeah, in Texas. Yeah, went Democrat. You said first time since the 80s, I think.
90s. Since the early 90s, and it flipped it by 17 points. Yeah. So it's on, and we have to pay attention to special elections. New Jersey, obviously, and Virginia are probably okay, but Georgia is a Marjorie Taylor Greene seat.
Right.
That's a special election. Now,
and it is a ruby red.
It's a ruby red. But so is this Texas seat. So I don't want people to be like, well, whatever. And there's a potential to turn the House blue prior to midterms. It's a very
Yeah.
slight margin, but there
Because
is hope.
the thoughts are that Abigail Spanberger, Governor Spanberger's seat
Yeah.
in Virginia and Governor Sherrill's seat in New Jersey will both stay Democrats.
Yeah.
So they'll come. So you're down 2 Democrats because they took bigger jobs. So, but
Mhm.
they're in the special elections, they will be filled by Democrats. That
Yeah.
is the conventional wisdom.
Yes.
And there's one vacancy I know in California,
Yeah.
and Governor Newsom is running the clock on him because he's allowed to.
Yeah.
He's going to wait to the bitter because it's a Republican seat, so
Mhm.
he's just keeping it vacant,
Yeah.
which hurts them on their count. He's going to schedule it the very last day that he's allowed to.
Yeah.
And hey, good for Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom says, "Hey, I'm bringing a gun to a gunfight."
Mhm.
Just like what he's doing with the redistricting. He's like, yeah, he ain't going to gunfights with a butter knife
he was really great at Davos too. He spoke really highly of it. I would also just, I'm putting it out there. New Jersey also is one of those states that pays $70 billion more than to the government than, they're contributing to the national GDP. They're not taking from, right? Like maybe a red state would be taking more than they're giving back to the federal government. And she's like, the federal government is not funding projects that we would normally be able to do in our state when we send that money to them. So what is keeping us from not sending money to the federal government to fund said projects for our state? So why are we giving you our surplus? We should probably be hanging on to our surplus. This is a sentiment that Gavin Newsom has been talking about for years now. And now other smaller states are saying like, hey, if we were to keep this extra $70 billion, that would keep us pretty solvent.
Right. Well, there's states that listen, I don't have any animus. My animus towards Republican-led states are because they don't like us.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that want to. Look, when Barack Obama was president, when Bill Clinton was president, we were never talking about owning the conservatives.
No.
Okay?
No,
they're the
why
ones that
would
talk about
we?
owning the libs. But
Yeah.
my point is, which I've said on this show multiple times, it's these states that they want to demonize that pay more to the federal government than what they receive.
Mm-hmm.
And they are blue states. It's California, it's New York, it's Maryland's, it's New Jersey's, it's Washington's, it's Oregon's. These states pay more in tax revenue than they get back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they're saying is, well, maybe we shouldn't do that.
Right.
But if we don't do that, you understand, with all due respect, and I'm sitting here with a native West Virginian,
Mm-hmm.
states like West Virginia,
Yeah.
Kentucky, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana,
Mm-hmm.
North Dakota, South Dakota, Oklahoma, these states will fail. They will go bankrupt if the federal government can't prop them up the way that they do, and they get way more from the federal government than they pay. It's like, I don't understand. I honest to God don't. Representatives from these states that vote against like the subsidies for Obamacare, for the Affordable Care Act.
Yeah.
They have the higher percentage of folks that need these subsidies.
Well, but
they have the higher percentage of folks on Medicaid.
So red states inherently vote against their best interests
Yes.
time after time after time. And my biggest thing, and I have been grappling with this thought for the last 3 weeks, is the fact that the communication tactics of the Democratic Party are atrocious, meaning they are very high level thinkers. They're very much perceived in this, like, I'm very well educated, blah, blah, blah. That's great. And that messaging works for your donors. It does not work for your constituents that you're trying to represent. And I want to be very clear on this. I really think we need campaign finance reform. I really think we need to have, better parameters on what you can spend your money on for advertising and how you choose to do it. It needs to be platform based. My thing is, if you're representing a city or a state or a region and you're going to a vote, you should have some basic of communication with your constituents, explaining to them the bill, why it's good for them, why it might not be good for them, and let them make a decision. And then they let you know how they would like you to vote, because guess what? You represent them. You're the one person in that body that represents them. That way, when you go to run for re-election and you say, hey, well, we didn't like that you did this and this. And you can say, well, that's great. I have a thing on my site that you can vote and you can write in and you can tell me. And we tally all of those things. And I vote according to what you want.
Right.
The majority of the district wanted this. So I voted for it. Do I agree with it? No. But it's not about me. I'm supposed to be representing you as my constituency. That is how we move.
But that is one view of looking at it.
Yeah.
Now, somebody would say, I don't elect a congressperson for their objectivity. You're elected for your subjectivity.
Mm-hmm.
And what we say, what you're saying, I'll say it a different way.
Yeah.
We should put up a scoreboard and say, here's where, Congresswoman Savramis voted. Here's where Congressman Gilmore voted.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you were the congressperson, then I'm the congressperson, and now we're both running for the seat, which we're going to see in the 6th Congressional, because we have Delaney and Trone are going to run.
Yeah, because I'm putting that stuff in my mailbox.
Here's the stuff I voted for, and here's the things that she voted for, and vice versa, and hold them accountable and say, okay, of those two, which one most aligned with my interests?
Correct.
And then, but that's really what they should run on.
Mm-hmm.
And, when it's called running on your record. And what these folks are somehow able to do is successfully run away from their record.
Mm-hmm.
And that's disappointing. But we should let them, good, bad, or indifferent, own your record.
Yes.
Like, hey, we have Governor of Maryland's going to own his record.
Yep.
He's going to run in 26. He's running this November. On a personal level, he is extraordinarily popular. People who've met our governor love our governor.
Yeah.
His politics aren't that his polling numbers on job approval aren't great. It's like 53%. Now, it's not bad, but it's not overwhelming. Now, if you ask on a personal level, 90% of the people who've met Westmore like Westmore. He is extraordinarily likable, extraordinarily, as we've said before, heartfelt, honest, sincere. And whether he's really sincere or not, damn, if he's not, he can really fake it well. Because I think it's true. I do too. But I'm telling you, the rule in politics.
He's not aging, so that's helpful.
The rule in politics is once you can fake sincerity, you got him licked, right? I mean, and if he's faking it, man, he's good at it. I agree with you. I don't think he is. But I mean, no, he's up here in ruby red, George's Creek, and people who've met him think, man, this guy really cares about us. He likes us.
He shows up.
He shows up. But no, I think that's what but it's the same. You and I are really talking on opposite sides at the same point.
Yeah.
I don't want a computer voting. Okay.
No.
Because if we say, hey, I'm going to poll my district on everything, and well, then we might as well just go to true direct democracy. Because by the way, we are closer to being able to do that than ever before with technology. Like, hey,
but I think that's a way to move. If you're not regulated and you're not taking super PAC money, you're not taking lobbying money, you're not doing all those things, then it forces you to not engage with the person who wants you to vote the way they want you to vote. And it forces you back into your districts to make sure that you're actually have your finger on the pulse.
I will say the one thing that I really appreciate about David Trone. Now, David Trone is extraordinarily wealthy.
Yeah.
Former congressman.
And so is April McLean Delaney.
She's wealtly, but
she's
real wealthy, but not like Trone wealthy.
She comes from money.
Well, she inherited. John Delaney, her husband, was a turnaround guy.
Yeah,
he's the Democratic version of Mitt Romney, and I don't mean that as criticism. Mitt Romney did at Bain Capital. I forget what John Delaney's company was. That's what they did. They came in, failing businesses, turn them around, sell them. That's what they do. That's how John Delaney was, and I liked him as a congressman. David Trone is a self-made man, and if he's not a billionaire, he's very close.
Yes.
But he takes no super PAC money. He like all the stuff that you get from him. He never asks for donations. Like he just self-funds.
I know.
I don't think that's the answer for politics, because that means only billionaires can be politicians.
No, but I'm saying if you do campaign finance reform, which you need to have, I mean, I'm saying it opens the field up where you can only take a minimum amount of donations and that's it.
But or with technology, do we need a representative democracy, or can we just have a democracy?
I don't know.
Which is,
that's a good point.
We have a budget. Do you here's what's in it. They put it, they publish it. This is what they want.
Yeah.
And yay or nay, vote up or down. I mean, we all have technology. We could do that
in our pockets.
Yes. I mean, I'm just saying.
And if you
like,
don't,
by the way,
how much go to the library and vote.
How much money? Well, by the way, how much money would America save? We can give when you sign up to vote, you get mailed a device. It's only for the voting business, right? Yeah. But it works into like, hey, and we know every Friday you have to vote on legislation. Yeah. That's the Friday. And you do it like you open it Friday from 12A to 12P because look, I understand hard work and folks, nobody's working 24 hours a day. And like say, hey, they can't be more than 7 things.
Yeah.
You vote yay or nay and just let the people decide. I mean, why not? Representative democracy exists because it wasn't possible to bring.
Exactly.
You have true democracy in a school. Right? Where it's like, hey, you have in a class, you might say to the class, hey, we're going to vote on, teacher might say, we're going to vote on X or Y. That's just true democracy. 30 hands go up, who has it? Ayes or nays. Not representing anybody other than yourself. That's true democracy.
Yeah.
And that's how we make decisions as a class or whatever, I run a small business, right? We're a true democracy. Got 3 partners. We vote yay or nay. No one's holding a proxy. It's not a representative. It's, boys, here's what we're going to do. Yes or no,
Yeah, representative democracies were because we couldn't, as a country, connect.
Right, but I'm saying, aren't we closer than ever before?
100%.
And we have the bandwidth to, and again, it's a radical way of thinking. You need someone in charge. I'm not talking about a president and people running on a cabinet because they and still having courts.
Yeah.
But our congress people, and senators are the representative democracy. The legislative branch is set up as a representative democracy.
Right. So I'm saying,
do we really need that
So you
anymore?
do your voting, like you say, and then you have your person go in and cast the official ballot.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like, it's a no-brainer. The person goes in and does it. They still can help write legislation, help write the bills. You still need to have your representative there to do that.
But in a lesser role. And by the way, and it still could be apportioned, right? Like, okay, so 6 congressional of Maryland votes yes, so they have to go vote yes on that, or, but it still could be by our districts and our areas.
I think for us personally, and who we're represented by on a state level, that would be very beneficial.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we could talk about this for hours.
I know.
And we can, but I just want to end the podcast on it's a sad thing. We lost Catherine O'Hara, very tragically, not tragically. I don't know. She was
a talented actor,
very talented actress. She amazing comedic talent. She was Canadian.
Yeah.
She died suddenly at 71, which is young.
Right. Was good friends with John Candy, and she talks about
SCTV, which was with Martin Short and
John Candy and
Eugene Levy,
and those guys.
She was known mainly for her breakout role, I would say, in Home Alone as the mom.
That's what I think of her as. I do think of her as the mom in Home Alone.
Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of Waiting for Guffman and A Mighty Wind and Best in Show.
Yeah, Best in Show is a classic.
So,
what a great movie.
I mean,
The Two Left Feet of Eugene Levy. I mean,
it's just insane, right?
It does.
So her and Eugene
I just died every time I saw him. It's just.
She was also in Beetlejuice.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So
she's the wife in Beetlejuice.
She's the wife in Beetlejuice, and Beetlejuice, and she was very good friends. But here's and Schitt's Creek later in her career, which was for 6 seasons and an incredible show. I have been seeing all these things online. Everybody was totally shocked by this. She was also in The Studio with Seth Rogen. It's on Apple TV. If you have not seen it, it is an incredible show. She is someone that no one is saying anything negative about.
You know what? I'll make a comment when she died. She died 71. She's just young. I never understand this. And again, everyone to each their own. Okay, someone 71 died. Well, the first question is, what did they die from?
Doesn't matter.
Why does it matter? I don't understand why people are. Now, listen, when I have a 25-year-old, I'm like, oh my God, did he get hit by a bus? Did he get, But 71, they just. But my answer is, it doesn't matter. They're dead. They're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I mean, you're right. You haven't heard anybody,
No, everybody's been just high praise. Yes. I was starting out. I met her.
She's a very talented actor.
Her comedic timing is so incredible, and her physical comedy, and not necessarily. She's not throwing her body around.
No, she's not Chris Farley or John Belushi, who are the ultimate physical actor, physical comedians, right?
Or I would even say Mary Catherine Gallagher from SNL. Molly Shannon.
Molly Shannon, yeah,
she's a very physical comedian, and Melissa McCarthy also that way.
I mean, I always think that John Belushi is the first physical comedian, where they made the physicality was part of the shtick, and he was.
And then it was Chris Farley.
And Chris Farley was and of course he idolized John Belushi and was very much did it. I mean, no, you think of Chris Farley, collapsing into a table, right? You think of John Belushi ready to gut himself with a samurai sword.
Exactly.
I mean, it's just and him dancing. You think about John Belushi dancing.
Yes.
Could really dance for a big guy. You know? You think Chris Farley dancing with no shirt on with Patrick Swayze. I mean, these guys are just, but they're physical. But you're right. From a female perspective, she was a physical comedian, but not
very subtly. It's so subtle.
Yeah.
That makes it so. It makes it so much infinitely better. I'm watching all these clips and stuff, and it's.
But
just
think
really
of her
weird.
you said Home Alone when she comes up out of the first class seat.
Yes.
and screams
my
Kevin.
God.
She knows
I
like
know.
it's like I know we forgot something, and bang! You just the
And it's
camera.
just like,
John
whoa.
Hughes brings the camera up into her face, and just it's great cinematic work.
Yeah.
It's great physical comedic work.
Yeah.
Timing. It's
So Christopher Guest, which did like Waiting for Guffman and Mighty Wind and a bunch of other of those style of mockumentary movies. She worked with him pretty much in every film, and it's just a shock because like if Catherine O'Hara was in something, I was like, oh, I'm gonna love this because like she just brought it every time, and like her hysterics are like perfect. Moira Rose won her an Emmy, like her second Emmy, as it should have, because she was just her accent, the words that she used, her physicality, the fact that she was an actress, she was playing an actress, a very over the top person. But her and Eugene Levy worked together for over 50 years, and
just a great comedic partnership.
Yeah.
They understood each other and their timing off of one another. Just it's great stuff.
It's pretty great.
So rest in power.
Yes, and please, for the love of everything holy, go watch Catherine O'Hara.
Just pick a movie. As you said, we just ticked off a bunch of
Yeah.
movies and shows. Yeah,
just pick something, and
even if you want to go Home Alone, like listen, it's a great role. She was
role.
great in that.
I did see something out of all the people in Home Alone 2, you took Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah.
Do with that what you will.
But boom.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's season 6, episode 10 in the books.
Yes, it is.
Lydia, that sort of leads to the logical conclusion for our listeners that there are 5 previous seasons and 9 previous episodes this season. If you've just stumbled upon us, first we'd ask you subscribe, give us 5 stars or whatever you want to do, and review us. And then we'd also say you can find those previous episodes and seasons. Where can they find them?
iTunes, Stitcher, Amazon, Google Play, Spotify, Audible.
Love Audible.
YouTube. We're not visual.
No.
You'll just see Jack LaLanne.
Right.
iHeartRadio, Deezer, Player FM.
Yep. You can find us at on Twitter at JackYDK. You can find Lydia at Twitter
at RTL Pod.
You can find me at JMGGMPG.
We are going to be exploring other platforms to be on, just because Twitter is the one of the unsubscribes. It's my thing is Twitter's good for just being available for people, and it's something we'll continue to do. But I think we might expand. We are on Instagram at JackYDK Pod.
But it's not much better. I mean, it's Zuckerberg,
It's a meta thing. Blue Sky, you and I both have.
Right.
We don't really.
It hasn't really caught on.
No. You have to want to do it. But so we will be exploring other options. You can maybe we set up an email, an old-fashioned email. You can just get in touch with us that way. That'd be fine.
You can mail us. We'll give a P.O. box.
We can do a P.O. box. We could do.
We use the law firm's address.
Morse code.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Smoke signals. I
just feel like flip phones, texting. You could do all that. We're going to look at some alternatives because we would like to have some people interact. Yeah. That would be great.
No, so
Send us your questions.
So we'll be back next week because we will do our Super Bowl prop bets with each other, and we'll go from there. Have a good week.
You too.